Talk me through these numbers. Were you happy with them? Are they something of a peak given the amount of competition that's encroaching in the sector?
Yeah, good morning and thank you for having me. Look, it's another outstanding set of numbers delivered by the group. Extremely pleasing to deliver such strong growth in what is traditionally a seasonal weak quarter off the back of peaks in the holiday season, particularly in the US and cyber sales. So to be able to deliver the levels of growth, particularly with the QuadPay business that with metrics of 200% year-on-year growth, was outstanding and very much early stages of the opportunity for us rather than the peak as you alluded to. So competition at this early stage of market adoption is a very good thing for all participants, and extremely pleased with the momentum we're building, particularly in the US.
So with CBA joining the fray from the middle of the year, we have the Afterpay Westpac tie-up and no doubt other banks potentially joining in as well. Have you taken a look at how this potentially puts pressure on your margins long term?
Yeah, particularly innovative move from CBA joining the buy now, pay later phenomenon, 5 years in the Australian opportunity. So I think we look forward to seeing how they're going to establish consumer adoption. I think there's a number of components of the model that they probably don't necessarily tick the boxes for. And while they're obviously a formidable competitor, we believe they have a number of challenges to overcome to be successful. The Zip business is very well placed for margin compression, should that be an eventuality in the medium term. We certainly haven't seen any in the shorter term. We've been able to hold margins very strongly, as our results demonstrate. But the Zip business has a particularly strong revenue model with diversified revenue streams that is a point of difference to the competitive peer set.
What about here in the US? Will you need to invest more on marketing costs?
Yeah, I think it's a very competitive landscape, as you've touched on. Early stages of the market maturity does lead to this competitive dynamic, but we believe it's a very good thing for all participants. It will significantly increase awareness and adoption, both on the consumer and the retailer side. QuadPay as a business is very well placed as it has a slightly differentiated business model where the app is delivering significantly superior results than the competitive peer set. It has a level of virality. It's able to acquire customers directly as opposed to the retail partnerships model. As you touched on, though, marketing and how we work with retail partners is a critical piece of the model. Again, in early stages to market maturity, securing exclusivity, retail partnerships and those sorts of arrangements is critical to continue to fuel growth.
With the vaccination drive here in the US, we are continuing to see more places reopen. Same thing happening in the UK. Will that momentum that you saw during the pandemic continue even after the reopen?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's very early stages of market adoption and market maturity. So the business will be able to continue to accelerate the external factors, as you've touched on. As the economy opens, it will lead to more confidence more generally, which will assist spending. I think we have a differentiated business model where we're able to capture our share of bricks and mortar or in-store transaction volume. So it's not just an online solution. So as the economy opens up, we're able to grow with that, and that will continue to be a tailwind for the business.
The RBA is still mulling further restrictions on the sector, including potentially allowing merchants to charge surcharges. We've seen surveys showing that around half of respondents say they just won't use the service if there's a surcharge. Is that something that you're concerned about, and what conversations are you having with the regulators?
Yeah, I think the RBA has sensibly indicated that there's nothing for them to intercede with in the short term. They're very mindful that additional regulation can stifle innovation, and obviously it's fairly critical, to stimulate economy that there's not an over-regulated environment, and that regulation really does provide consumers from harm. To date, there's certainly been no evidence that there's been any consumer harms delivered from our products or services. I think they've sensibly adopted a watch this space sort of attitude for now. It's very early stages again. How competitive forces play out in the marketplace, may dictate some of their future moves.
Peter, very quickly, will you introduce cryptocurrencies on your platform?
Yeah, it's a great and very topical question. I think we definitely have ambitions to, be a digital wallet for newer generations of both Australian, American and global consumers. And we are looking at how we satisfy their needs and their desires with regards to the products and services that we give access to via the digital wallet. And crypto is obviously very high on their wish list. So it's a watch this space.